Welcome back to This Week on Channel 9. It's been a minute since we've been here, but we promise we're still around. There was Connect, that was important. Then there was Thanksgiving, and that was important. Now we are here at the Growler Guys in Lake City, Washington, hanging out, and I'm very pleased that I'm joined today by special guest host, Mr. Damian Brady. What's up, Damian?
Not a lot. How are you?
I'm good. I'm real good. So you are a cloud developer advocate.
Correct, yes.
And most of the CDAs have specialties. What is yours?
DevOps.
DevOps.
All things DevOps, yeah.
Which is a very hot topic, and a lot of people are really into it.
It is, yeah. Definitely.
All right, Damian is fantastic. We're also joined here by Henry, the Xamarin Monkey. So yay to Henry. James from the Xamarin team is in the background too, so hi to James. I'm Christina Warren, I'm also a cloud developer advocate, and we're gonna talk about what's happening this week, or in the last couple of weeks, in all kinds of news. So first up, as we mentioned, we haven't been on in a bit, partially because Microsoft Connect, which took place 2 weeks ago, was more important than our show. So if you haven't checked out Connect, all of the videos are now on demand on Channel 9.
Yes.
Have you looked at any of the content?
I've watched a few, yeah. There's a lot from the rest of my team. So Abel Wang, Steve Murawski, and Jessica Dean all have some sessions on there as well, and Donovan's obviously involved.
Yeah. No, I talked to Donovan during Connect. He was one of the people I talked to about some of the stuff happening with VSTS and around some of the other big announcements within the DevOps space. So that's cool.
Yeah, lots of stuff there.
So check out all that content. It's on channel9.msndn.com. There's a link in the show notes to see all the sessions. There's 3 days worth of content. A lot of people only watched the first day. There's so much good stuff there. Be sure to check it out. Right. Next up, this I thought was really cool. Our friend Michael Crump has a free ebook that he wrote along with Barry Lubrance. And it's basically the developer's guide to Azure, the 2nd edition. Yeah,
I had a look at this, and this is amazingly good, useful for a book, right? Like, I've co-authored books before, and you go through that process, and then everything's out of date. But I had a look through this the other day. Stuff like, especially the DevOps side of it, right? How to deploy stuff to Azure. And it is like right up to the minute. It is really, really handy stuff.
Okay, great. So this is going to be up to date because Azure changes so much.
It does, yes.
All right, so definitely check this out. It's free and it's available now. Thank you, Michael and Barry. All right, this is news that actually just like as we were filming this today, this is brand new. How often do you use the Microsoft Edge browser? Be honest.
Honestly, not that often.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm on a Mac at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of Node, a lot of Java, a lot of non.NET just to work out how it all works DevOps-wise. But when I am on Windows, Edge is up there.
And it's just coming around. And so there's now, it was in preview in October. Now it is fully available. Microsoft Edge for iOS and Android. The main reason I kind of wanted to call this out, I don't know if you're familiar with this, like you said, you're on a Mac right now, and I use a Mac at home and on the side too, but there's a really cool feature that's built into both the Android and iOS. There's an iOS app called Continue on PC, there's an Android Microsoft launcher, and it's also built into this Microsoft Edge for iOS and Android, and what it lets you do, is so cool, is you can take the web page you're visiting and send it to your PC.
So just continue that web page.
Continue that web page on your PC, and the Edge on iOS and Android will also take over your bookmarks, your passwords. Tab syncing isn't there yet, but it's coming in the future. It's on the roadmap. But this is really cool. Not just so if you are an Edge user and you want to have your passwords across devices, that's really cool. But I also say check out. We've got a link in the show notes, but be sure to check out Continue on PC for iOS or Android, because that I think is it's part of this, but it's also a separate app, and I think that's a really cool thing.
That'll be really useful. I tend to just wander around and you see a link on Twitter or something like that. If you open that up, start reading it, realize this would be better on my PC.
Well, that's the whole thing. You're like, no, I would rather watch this on the desktop, and so it's cool that that's available. Awesome. All right, our friends Jeremy and Dmitry did a show about CosmosDB and serverless NoSQL for the .NET developer. This was a really good video, I thought.
Yeah, definitely. CosmosDB is an amazing product. It
really is.
Incredible kind of huge wide range of database style stuff you can do, and NoSQL stuff. Cool features like sending copies of your data to all around the world to make it closer to the users that are using it. There's a huge number of features that this thing enables. And it's not just .NET either. It's any language, any platform is what we keep saying.
And I mean, and if you're running kind of a drop-in of sorts for Mongo, DB, DocumentDB works really well with that, and that works alongside Cosmos, so it's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so check out that video. Thanks, Dmitry and Jeremy, for that. Speaking of Channel 9 content, we always like to promote Gals. It's one of our favorite shows, and this latest episode is an interview with Rachel Nabors, who I know on Twitter. Rachel's awesome, who's a author and program manager, and she talks about how she was online as a teenager, her webcomics, and how that got her into a career as a front-end developer at Microsoft and now a program manager. So this is really cool. She does a lot of work with W3C. Check out this episode. Rachel's very cool.
Yeah.
So good stuff. All right, now this was kind of in the news, and I feel a little bit self-indulgent talking about this, I'm not gonna lie. But the Microsoft campus is getting a big redesign. I guess we had envy from some of the other big campuses, I don't know.
Yeah, that seems to be this thing that happens every few years, is some gigantic company will build this huge, amazing, technologically advanced campus.
I'm excited about it. I mean, they're going to be getting rid of some of the classic buildings that haven't been renovated in forever, and that's cool. I used to work in one of those older buildings,
oh, really?
and it's cool to be like part of history, but then you're like, it's really hard to navigate, and they're really old, even though they would update parts of it. So a lot of Microsoft campus is getting rebuilt, but I don't care about that. Tell us about, because you're about to start working from Australia, so tell me about your home office, because I'm jealous. What's your office like?
This doesn't affect me a great deal. My new home office is hopefully going to be right on the beach. So if get an office on the beach, it's pretty good. Yeah.
I'm jealous. So you're going to be in what city in Australia are you going to be in?
In Newcastle, which is about 2 hours north of Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wow. So Damian's going to be like coding on the beach, where the rest of us schmucks are going to be like, whoa.
I just need to sandproof the laptop and.
You want to sandproof the laptop. At this point, most phones are waterproof, so that's good. But you want to get a sandproof situation going.
Yeah,
you don't want it to get like caught underneath the keyboard.
For sure.
That's not good. Okay, we always love to talk about when open source and Microsoft worlds collide, because a few years ago that would have been an anathema.
Yeah.
And this is one of the cooler things. So there's now a web media extensions for Windows 10, and this is an app you can download from the Windows Store or from the Microsoft Store, and it basically brings native support for OGG, Vorbis, and Fiora containers to Windows 10, and it also will bring native playback in Edge for those formats. What do you think of this? I think this is really cool.
It is, yeah, it is. Anything that allows me to play more and more stuff just with that, with what's out of the box, or little extensions and things like that. Really, really handy. I mean, I've only just started getting into recording video and things like that. The stuff that comes out of the Canon camera, for example, I have to convert that to something else right now in order to play it at all. So it's great to be able to just grab a media file of any type and play it.
Yeah, no, and I think that for a lot of people, if you wanted to play back these open file formats, you used to have to install VLC or some of the other, or manually install the codecs. I think it's cool that this happens out of the box now. And what's really great about it is that it works on Xbox One, it works on HoloLens, and it works on Windows 10. It'll also work on mobile. So if you have a Windows 10 mobile device, apparently it'll work there too. So that's really great.
Yeah.
We were kind of joking about this earlier.
Interesting.
So this is there's an old game. It was actually originally a Sega CD game. Do you remember the Sega CD?
I do not. No. Oh, okay. the actual device.
Yeah. It was a CD-ROM attachment for the Sega Genesis.
Yes, I remember it. Yep.
And it was a massive failure. Sega fans, you can hit me up in the comments and tell me I was wrong, but I'm not. I mean, Sega's Saturn CD was pretty good, but there was this Penn and Teller game, and there was this mini game, and it was called Desert Bus. And it's basically a bus simulator. And what you do is it's like the world's worst but best simulator, because it's like you're actually driving a bus. It's kind of in real time, and if you go off the path just a little bit, then you have to start over. It's been converted to a bunch of different platforms. I bought it for iOS a few years ago. It's now available there's now a VR version, which I think is really cool.
I mean, I haven't played it, so I don't know. It doesn't seem like something I'd enjoy.
Maybe not, but I just love the fact that this is happening. Now I'm not sure. I should be better prepared on this. I don't know if Goat Simulator. Have you ever played that?
I have not played it, but I know a lot about it.
Goat Simulator is so good. I don't know if Goat Simulator is in VR or not. I hope it is.
Oh, it should be.
It should be. If it's not,
definitely.
get on that. But this is the sort of thing where I haven't used this either, but I want to play it because I want to see what it's like to have the most boring experience of driving a bus across the desert in VR.
It'll be immersive, I'm sure.
Well, the whole point of mixed reality is that it's supposed to be like you're there, and that shouldn't just include, fun things like Rick and Morty that should also include boring tasks like driving across the desert.
Okay.
All right, now it's time for our pick of the week. Tell us about yours.
Yeah, so my pick of the week is Git virtual file system and some stuff that's come up lately with that. So GVFS is this amazing thing. It's basically a Windows driver that virtualizes your Git repository. So when Microsoft moved all their engineers across to VSTS and moving them across to Git, they found that some of those repositories didn't scale very well. So,
right, because if you're not familiar, Microsoft, we moved the entire Windows code base to Git.
And it's not small, like it's 300 gig, I think.
It's 300 gig, and there was something like 20,000 developers working on it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a massive undertaking to take a repo that large and move it to Git. So to do that, they had to develop a file system, right?
Yeah, basically. So rather than pulling the entire repository down and having to check all of the files and things like that, they now just pull the metadata down. And then only if you go to edit a file do they pull that file down.
Got it.
But the really cool news, the thing that kind of made this my pick of the week, is that they're bringing that to macOS and to Linux. And yeah, this is awesome. It's basically an open source thing done by Microsoft for Microsoft, but they're doing it in a way that's going to match the rest of the community. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And there's some details. The implementation isn't quite clear yet. I think that the driver format that you usually use if you're going to try to bring a different type of file system to either Linux or Mac OS is Fuse, and that can sometimes be slow. This Ars Technica article we linked to talked about how when Dropbox was trying to do something similar, they ran into some issues, and so they're going to use some sort of kernel extension, I think, and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know all the technical details, but it's really cool, and like you, I'm really excited they are taking something that is specific to us, open sourcing it, and then bringing it to other platforms, because that's recognition. The developers don't just develop on Windows, they develop on Mac, they develop on Linux, and your GVFS stuff should be able to work wherever you are.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're really interested as well, GVFS is on GitHub.
Awesome.
So it's open source already. If you wanted to go and have a look at how that all works, yeah, go and have a look.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, my pick of the week. This is a weird one. I love it so much. Basically, this hacker basically he took Zach from How-Chew. He found an old Furby. Do you remember the Furby?
Yeah, I remember them.
Okay, so I had a couple. I actually still have an ET Furby, believe it or not. There was a special limited edition ET Furby in 2002, I want to say, or 2001, and his finger lights up and he says, ET, love you, and he's like, Elliot. It's really cute.
He says that in the Furby voice, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's super cute, and he has like underneath his jacket, he's got like a little heart that will respond. It's super cute.
Nice.
Anyway, Furbies are weird, but this guy, Zach, he basically hacked together an Alexa and a Furby so that his Furby is now his Echo device.
That's interesting.
And it's kind of creepy. Some of the videos, like you can see the photo we've got up, where he took stuff apart before he put the housing back on. It's a little bit disturbing, but I also kind of love it. So I'm going to put out a challenge to all the people watching. I want to see someone do this with Cortana skills.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's running on a Raspberry Pi.
It's running on a Raspberry Pi W, yeah. So you should be able to do it. But also, I mean, look, Cortana and Alexa are friends now, so that's great. Yeah. But I want to see, so that's why we're talking about it. But I want to see somebody else do it. But I love this. Yeah,
it's some fun tech stuff where somebody's taken a really fun toy that has a bit of nostalgia attached to it and attached some really new stuff like Alexa. Coming from your Furby.
Totally. Well, I love it to be like turn on the lights and then like in the Furby mouth will open in Alexa's voice. I just love that idea. Have you seen the Billy bass, like the big talking bass?
Yes, that's the next one. That's my challenge. Do that one.
And do that one with Cortana too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Damian, thank you so much for joining me this week.
Yeah, no problem.
And where can people find you online?
I am Damo Visa on Twitter. That's probably the easiest way to do it. I'm on there 29 hours a day. So,
okay, he's on there 29 hours a day, and you can also check out, because you do videos and speak and do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I'm on Channel 9. I'm at Confu next week in Vancouver, and then that's the last North American gig, and then back to Australia.
And then you're going to be down under.
Then I'm going to be down under. So yeah, Australian people, check me out when I get back there. I'm probably going to be busy moving to start.
He's going to be busy moving for a couple months, but once you get settled in, you'll have more time to go to other type of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Definitely.
Thank you for being here. And cheers.
Cheers.